If you are currently waiting online to speak for public input, can you please press the raise hand button at this time?
So did Dave.
That's because I know them well.
What do we know? Yes, no?
No,
No, right? So we have no public input, yes?
correct.
All right. We ready?
Yes. Are you ready?
Good evening. Welcome to tonight's meeting, Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. I'll call the meeting to order. Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer,
Here.
Councilor Rujo,
Here.
Council Codere,
Here.
Council Gregor, Council Moran,
Here.
Council Moreno. Here. Council Rubio, Council Stakoviak, Council Wildenhain. 8 in attendance.
Mr. President, I call for approval of the previous minutes of September 10th, 2025.
Moved by Council Rujo, second by Council Rubio. Approval be given to the minutes of the September 10th, 2025 meeting as prepared by the clerk. Are there any concerns, amendments, deletions, additions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Call for approval of item number 2, the consent agenda, and item number 3, petitions for licenses, starting with entertainment of a Sunday game, which is a petition of the Centerville Bank Stadium at Tidewater Landing for have a football club game on Sunday, October 5th, down to Victorine House new, first class new, Oliver's Diner, Jerry Manuel at 240 Main Street. Motion is to approve.
Moved by Council Rujo, second by Council Moreno, that approval be given to items 2 and 3, the consent agenda and petitions for license. They start with an entertainment request for a Sunday game for Rhode Island Football Club on Tidewater Street, down through Victorine House First Class New for Oliver's Diner at 240 Main Street. Any discussion on these matters? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item number 4 is a communication from Maria Tolentino, AM Taylor and Dry Cleaning at 113 Power Road to Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners requesting name change on the public laundry license from Maria Tolentino, sole proprietor, to AM Taylor and Dry Cleaning LLC. Motion is to take up the communication, or do you file it?
File a communication,
All right,
take it up.
All right, file the communication and take it up.
It's been moved by Council Rujo, second by Councilor Stakoviak, that a communication from Maria Tolentino, AM Taylor and Dry Cleaner on 113 Powell Road to Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners, requesting a name change on the public laundry license from Maria Tolentino, sole proprietor, to AM Taylor and Dry Cleaning. Motion is to take up the file a communication and take up. All in favor of filing? Aye. Opposed? Councilor?
Second.
Yep. So it's been moved by Councilor Stakoviak, second by Councilor, was that you, Councilor Rujo?
Yes, sir.
That approval be given to the request for a name change at the dry cleaners on Powell Road. Any discussion on the motion to approve the name change request? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
No further business coming before the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Been moved by Councilor Rujo, second by Councilor Moran, that we adjourn the Pawtucket Board of License Commissioners and convene as Pawtucket
No,
City.
don't want to convene yet. We're before 7 o'clock. That's why I just said that.
Okay, then.
Stand down.
All in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
We are adjourned. All right, I'll give you another 6.5 minutes. 5 minutes. Good evening. Welcome to tonight's Pawtucket City Council meeting. Before we call the roll, would everybody join us, stand and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance, started by Councilor Gregor.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Pawtucket City Council will come to order. Clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer,
Here.
Council Ruzo.
Yeah.
Council Codere,
Here.
Council Gregor, Council Moran.
Here.
Council Moreno.
Here.
Council Rubio,
Here.
Council Stacoviac.
Here.
Council Wildenhain. In attendance.
Mr. President, I call for approval of the previous minutes from September 10th, 2025 of the Finance Committee, the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits, the Committee of the Whole, and the City Council.
Moved by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Codier, that approval be given to the minutes of the September 10th meetings of the Finance Committee, the Committee on Claims and Pending Suits, Committee of the Whole, and the City Council as prepared by the clerk. Are there any concerns, amendments, deletions? Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries.
Call for approval of item number 2, the consent agenda and correspondence.
Moved by Councilor Ruzo, second by Councilor Moreno, that approval be given to item 2, the consent agenda and correspondence. Are there any items on 2 council wishes to address? I will just take up item E for Councilor Moreno, Councilor Wildenhain after. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item E is a communication from the zoning director to members of City Council regarding our request at the behest of Councilor Wildenhain last meeting to consider extending the workforce, the volunteer work task force to longer periods of time, if not year round. And Councilor Wildenhain asked me to thank the director for his interest in that and getting back to us. So with that, we're on to item 3. Approve. We already approved.
It's not agenda.
We approve and then we take up the individual items. Sorry.
Wait.
Follow along.
Yeah, too long.
Item 3.
We ready?
Yes.
All right. Item 3, the Finance Committee returns the following contract with a recommendation for approval. Ratification of the employment agreement between the Pawtucket Water Supply Board and Russell Hood Jr., PE Assistant Chief Engineer. Motion is to approve on a roll call vote.
Been moved by Councilor Moran, seconded by Councilor Rubio. The Finance Committee returns the following contract with the recommendation for approval. It's a ratification of an employment agreement between the Pawtucket Water Supply Board and Russell L. Hood Jr., the Assistant Chief Engineer. Again, the motion, the recommendation from the Finance Committee is to approve. Is there any discussion on this matter? In that case, hearing none, the clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer,
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere,
Yes.
Council Gregor, Council Moran,
Yes.
Council Moreno, Council Rubio,
Yes.
Council Stacoviac. 8-0.
Number 4, the Finance Committee returns the following ordinance with a recommendation for approval. An ordinance of the City of Pawtucket approving the issuance of water revenue bonds and notes in an amount not to exceed $50 million for the purpose of financing improvements to the Pawtucket water supply system for first passage. Motion to approve on a roll call vote.
Moved by Councilor Moran, second by Councilor Rubio. The Finance Committee returns the following ordinance with a recommendation for approval. An ordinance of the City of Pawtucket approving the issuance of water revenue bonds and notes in an amount not to exceed $50 million for the purpose of financing improvements to the Pawtucket water supply system. This would be approval on a first passage on a roll call vote. Is there any discussion? Councilor. Oh, well, they most certainly do. But Joe, can you answer that question?
No.
Joseph Keogh, counsel for the Pawtucket Water Supply Board. Really what this is doing, we've reached the limit of our borrowing authority. So this will just allow us increased authority. That does not mean we're going to borrow right away. Doesn't mean that it translates into rates. In fact, as we talked about at the Finance Committee, some of the Pawtucket Water Supply Board's debt will fall off, their existing debt, and new debt will come in. We usually with bond funds do not purchase property, but any property that is purchased, there are times where the Pawtucket Water Supply Board buys watershed protection property that goes in the name of the city. And so the process for doing that is the Pawtucket Water Supply Board would issue a recommendation to the council. It would then go to the Properties Committee. Properties Committee would review it, and then it would come to the full council, and then it goes in, the property goes in the name of the city of Pawtucket.
Not owned by.
No. Yeah, sure.
And Joe, if you do go out to bond, does that have to go through the Public Utilities Commission?
Yeah, wait, so if we, if we need increased rates to service debt, we have to get those increased rates from the Public Utilities Commission. What sometimes happens is when debt falls off, we have enough money already in rates to do a new borrowing. However, that new borrowing, even if we don't need rates, has to be approved by the Division of Public Utilities and Carriers, which is separate from the Public Utilities Commission. I would say that Division of Public Utilities and Carriers acts as the consumer advocate. And so there's a process by which, even if you have rates in place, you still have to get the borrowing approved by the Division of Public Utilities and Carriers.
And that's for all utilities, not just rate.
That's all,
water utilities.
yeah, all regulated
Yep.
utilities, yeah.
Any other questions for Joe? Thank you.
Straightforward.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Any other questions at all? In that case, clerk will call the roll.
President Mercer.
Yes.
Council Ruzo.
Yes.
Council Codere.
Yes.
Council Gregor.
Yes.
Council Moran.
Yes.
Council Moreno. Council Rubio.
Yes.
Council Stacoviac. 8-0.
Thank you very
Well
much.
said,
Thank you,
Joe.
Joe.
Thank
Good seeing you.
Item number 5, the following matter was postponed at the meeting held September 10th, 2025, and is again taken up. A discussion regarding use of current school on and future school bonding needs.
Moved by Council Moreno, second by Council Stacoviac, that we, following matter that was postponed to meeting held on September 10th and is again taken up as a discussion regarding the use of current school bonding and future school bonding needs. In a moment, I'm going to just ask that we continue this again, if somebody make that motion for me. But before we do, I just want to very briefly touch on this. The reason we put it on the last meeting was because the school committee was supposed to meet the night before. And they had a couple items on there that could very well have impacted bonding discussion at a very minimum. Then they had to postpone their meeting till the next night after our meeting. So there was really nothing for us to discuss. So we pushed it back to this meeting. They have since had that meeting and another one last night. And I just want to mention something that came up at last night's meeting. They also continued that discussion, but it was made very clear that they're going to have a special meeting next Tuesday. They intend to have a special meeting next Tuesday to talk about what I'll just call is the conflation of the Slater Middle School redesign, which is an educational fix process, and somehow it being conflated with school bonding and school construction. And they are two entirely separate things. I, for one, and I know the rest of leadership is very convinced that we don't necessarily have the capacity to build yet another school while we're building a $330 million high school. And that's been made very clear to the leadership at the school committee. But last night, I watched the meeting today, but last night, it seemed that they were still going to move forward with this discussion. And on top of it, that they needed to do it by the end of this month. And one of the things the chairman said was that we, meaning that body, that they didn't have all of the answers. I believe that that is correct, that 6 of them don't have the answers, but the chair most certainly knows the position of the administration and the position of the council leadership anyway on this. And what they may wind up doing on Tuesday is considering spending $1.1 million to engage a consultant to talk about what I would say, at least at the moment, a pie in the sky suggestion of building another high school, another middle school. So we're not going to meet again for a couple of weeks, and I'm going to ask to continue this. I just needed to get that out there, that maybe the 6 members of the school committee are a little bit in the dark on what the information is. But with all of the financial uncertainty at that department, I just can't understand how they are going to rush headlong into spending $1.1 million to kick the tires on a project that may never, ever be able to be funded. So I just want to get that out there so that the public understands that what might be at stake next Tuesday. We'll see what happens next Tuesday. I hope, I know that council leadership and the administration has made their thoughts very clear on this matter, that an educational process should not be Velcroed and conflated with a construction process. But that seems to be what's happening. I don't know if anybody's going to even watch this meeting. I don't know the Valley Breeze will pick up on it, but we would not be doing our job if we didn't at least let the public know that that might be what is coming down the road before we meet again. So
Do we know by any chance, and we don't have to go on with the discussion, but where the superintendent is on that superintendent bug?
I don't know. He's well informed.
Okay.
I don't know what his position
Okay.
is on it. It's really a convoluted situation, and it shouldn't be. But the fact that 2 things are being pursued in conjunction when they are apples and oranges
Right.
is a problem. Now, maybe down the road, it's not a problem. Maybe everything works out, but we just had to increase taxes by 6.5% and due entirely to debt service. The majority of that school construction debt service. The pro tem and the finance chair and I have, made our thoughts well known to not only the school side and the administration. The administration, I believe, is on the same side or the same opinion as us, but we've made at least had the same discussions with RIDE. So everybody's aware. It's just knowing something and then just saying, I'm going to go forward anyway, is just potentially problematic. I'm not going to say any more than that. I would like to entertain a motion to put this same item on for our next meeting, which will come a week and a half or so after their next meeting. I don't know that I can answer any questions, but go ahead, Counselor.
Yeah, I'm not saying how.
Exactly. That's my point exactly. So they're in redesign, right? Which is to cure or try to cure the educational, the instructional shortcomings, right?
Which is what,
And have a plan for it. I'm sorry, Counselor,
Yes. So
for that.
my only reason for bringing it up, I had even said that I would continue it again, but a couple of the statements and the urgency of those statements last night, I think everybody needs to be aware of what's being discussed out there. And it seemed like the other 6 members also might not know. Maybe if they watch this, they'll ask a question or 2. So I don't really want to go any, because it's all my personal beliefs, but I just felt that the 70,000 people in this city needed to understand what dialogue is happening and how it seems to be seems to be strained to try to conflate the two issues. You know, you picked right up. That's exactly my position on that, Counselor. So they were just going to schedule a special meeting for next Tuesday.
I think generally, I don't know, they usually generally around 6, I think. but
Yeah, they generally at 6, but
About
it's,
six.
I don't even know that
Special,
it is,
so-
I don't even know that it is scheduled. It's just,
Right.
and there was a suggestion about part of it being an executive session. I don't really even really know why there, but, I'd like to just end it there. I just needed to get that little bit out there. Council, do you have a question or?
No, I'll just make a motion to continue.
I'll second it.
It's been moved by Councilor Rubio, second by both Councilor Moreno and Councilor Rujo, that we continue item 5 for the next meeting, which will be the first meeting in October. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, motion carries.
No further business coming before the Pawtucket City Council. I make a motion that we adjourn.
Moved by Councilor Rujo, second by Councilor Codere, we adjourn. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. We are adjourned at 7:16.
Uh,